get ready, these humble wheat pennies could be worth life-changing money. From rare minting errors to legendary low mintage years, the top 5 examples have sold for hundreds of thousands to over $1 million. Discover their stories, astonishing values, and the hidden history that keeps collectors chasing them to this day. Before we talk about the rare ones, just think about the history behind a 1941 penny. This coin was made during a time when the world was changing fast. The United States had not yet entered World War II, but the world was full of tension. People were saving every bit of metal, every piece of copper, every resource they could. Millions of Americans carried these wheat pennies in their pockets as they worked in factories, farms, gas stations, and shops. These coins traveled through the hands of soldiers, families, students, and workers. Every 1941 penny is a small piece of history in your hand, a moment frozen in time. The U.S. Mint made a huge number of 1941 pennies. There were 3 main kinds: the one made in Philadelphia with no mint mark, the one made in Denver with a D mint mark, and the one made in San Francisco with an S mint mark. Many people think that because so many were made, none of them could be valuable. But rare coins don't become valuable because a lot were made. They become valuable because something went wrong or something went right in a way that hardly ever happens. And in 1941, both things happened. Let's talk about the rare errors first, because these are the ones that can bring in thousands, tens of thousands, and sometimes more depending on condition. One of the most famous is the 1941 double-die penny. On this coin, the letters on the front look slightly doubled, especially the word Liberty or the date itself. When a double die is strong and clear, collectors will pay thousands of dollars for it. A rare, high-grade double die can sell for prices so high they shock even experienced collectors. Some examples have reached tens of thousands of dollars in auctions, especially when the coin is in extremely clean, mint-like condition. Another rare type is the 1941 penny struck on the wrong metal. These are extremely rare, and when one appears, the value jumps instantly into the thousands. This could be a penny struck on a leftover foreign planchet, or maybe a blank intended for another denomination. Some of these errors are so unusual that collectors fight over them when they appear at auction. A simple 1-cent coin that came out wrong at the mint suddenly becomes a coin worth a huge fortune. There are also off-center strikes, where the design doesn't sit properly in the middle of the coin. A dramatic off-center 1941 penny can be worth hundreds or thousands depending on how clear the design is. Then there are clipped planchets, where the coin looks like someone sliced a piece out of it. These can also be worth good money. And if the penny has both an off-center strike and another error, the value multiplies even more. But the most eye-popping values come from high-grade 1941 pennies, coins that look almost brand new even after more than 80 years. If a 1941 penny is graded at the highest levels like MS 67 or MS 68, collectors will pay thousands of dollars for it, even if it's not an error coin. Because finding a penny from 1941 in perfect condition is like finding a perfectly preserved time capsule from before World War II. It is incredibly rare. Some of these pristine examples have sold for 5 figures or more. A perfect red, high-grade 1941 D or 1941 S penny can make collectors go crazy at auctions. Now imagine combining a high grade with a rare error. That's when the value becomes unbelievable. Some rare error varieties, especially large double dies or coins struck on the wrong planchet, can jump into the tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands if the condition is extremely high. Coins like these are almost never seen. They are the absolute top of the collecting world. This is why collectors love the 1941 wheat penny. It's a mix of history, rarity, and excitement all wrapped in one little copper coin. People check their jars, their boxes of old coins, and the pockets of old coats. You never know where one might be hiding. That is the beauty of these coins. They are old, but not too old. They are common, but the rare ones are worth a fortune. They are simple, but at the same time, they hold incredible stories. Imagine finding a 1941 penny in your home, flipping it over, and realizing it is one of the rare double dies. Imagine discovering your coin weighs wrong because it was struck on the wrong metal. Imagine grading a clean, bright penny and seeing it come back with a top-level mint state grade. That one penny could change your life. Many people today still don't know that 1941 pennies have rare versions worth so much money. They see a brown old penny and think it's worthless. But you know better now. You know that hidden among the ordinary coins are gems worth hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and sometimes even higher depending on the rarity and grade. This is why coin collectors always say, check your change. This is why people keep old jars of weak pennies. Because inside those jars, inside those pockets, and inside those dusty boxes in the attic could be a rare prize waiting to be noticed. This is the excitement behind the 1956 wheat penny. It looks simple, ordinary, and common, but hidden among the millions made are rare versions that can bring unbelievable value. People don't expect it. People don't think a penny from 1956 could be worth more than a car, or more than a month's salary, or even tens of thousands in the right condition. But it's true, these rare coins exist, and collectors will pay huge prices when the right one appears. To understand why, we have to look back at the moment these coins were made. In 1956, America was growing fast. Families were buying new homes, new cars, and new televisions. Kids rode bicycles, played baseball, and bought candy with pennies. Gas was cheap, movies were cheap, and everyone used cash every day. Those old wheat pennies were part of everyday life. Millions of people carried them in their pockets without knowing that some of them held rare mistakes, rare variations, and rare levels of quality that collectors would one day seek out. The 1956 wheat penny was made at the Denver Mint, and they made a huge number, over 1 billion coins. With so many minted, it might seem impossible for any of them to be worth a lot. But rare coins become valuable not because of the total mintage, but because of tiny groups of coins with special qualities. For 1956 pennies, value comes from rare errors, varieties, and extremely high-grade survivors. Some of the most exciting 1956 pennies are those with double die errors. A double die happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice at the mint with a slight shift. This creates doubled letters, doubled numbers, or doubled lines that collectors find extremely valuable. A strong double die from 1956 can bring hundreds in lower grades, and thousands or even tens of thousands in the highest grades. When these coins appear at auctions, collectors notice instantly. The rarest double dies can reach shocking values because they are so hard to find. Another rare type is the 1956 D/D repunched mint mark, often called the RPM. This happens when the mint mark D was punched into the coin more than once, leaving behind a shadow or double image. Some 1956 RPM varieties are extremely strong and clearly visible. These can bring hundreds of dollars in normal condition, and thousands when found in top grade. Many collectors actively hunt for these RPMs because they are unique pieces of mint history. Then there are the truly wild errors, the kinds of mistakes that turn a normal penny into a treasure. One of the rarest is the wrong planchet strike, where a 1956 wheat penny was struck on the wrong metal blank. These errors are extremely rare, but they do exist across wheat penny years. A 1956 penny struck on a dime blank, a foreign coin blank, or another incorrect metal could easily be worth tens of thousands of dollars, especially if found in clean condition. These are the types of coins that make collectors go silent, stare, and then lose their minds with excitement. There are also off-center 1956 pennies, where the design is pushed far to one side because the blank was not lined up correctly. The more dramatic the off-center strike, especially if the date is still visible, the higher the value. A strong off-center error can sell for hundreds, and in perfect condition even thousands. There are also clipped planchets, where a curved section of the penny is missing. These can also bring high prices if the clipping is large and clear. But one of the most surprising areas of value is hidden in the extremely high-grade 1956 pennies. These are coins that people saved by accident or intention, coins that never entered circulation. They sat untouched for decades, protected from scratches, dirt, and wear. When these are sent to grading companies like PCGS or NGC, they can come back with stunning grades like MS 66, MS 67, or even MS 68. And when that happens, the value skyrockets. A 1956 D penny in MS 67 red can easily sell for thousands of dollars. A nearly perfect MS 68 red example can reach tens of thousands of dollars at auction. These coins shine bright and clean, with no marks and full original red color. They are the rarest survivors, almost like stepping back in time and seeing the coin exactly as it looked the day it was minted. Now imagine combining a rare error with a top-grade condition. That's when you get the pennies that collectors whisper about. A double die in MS 67 red, a repunched mint mark in MS 68, a wrong planchet error in perfect condition. These coins can bring tens of thousands or even more. They are legendary. They are the treasures people dream about finding. This is what makes the 1956 D wheat penny so exciting. Anyone could have one sitting somewhere. A rare 1956 D penny might be in a jar of old change in your house. It might be in a collection you inherited. It might be hiding in a forgotten drawer, a shoebox, or a dusty container that no one has opened for years. People find valuable wheat pennies all the time in the most unexpected places. And every time someone discovers one, it changes their life. Imagine the moment you pick up a penny, check the date, look closer, and realize you found something rare. Maybe you noticed the doubled letters. Maybe you noticed the mint mark looks doubled. Maybe the coin looks unusually shiny and perfect. Maybe it feels different because it was struck on the wrong metal. That one moment could turn a simple penny into a coin worth more than you ever imagined. That's the magic hidden inside the 1947 wheat penny. People think these pennies are common, and most of them are, but a tiny percentage are the rare, valuable ones that turn a 1-cent coin into a treasure worth many thousands of dollars. And those are the ones collectors are always searching for. Those are the ones that make people dump out old jars, check old piggy banks, and search through long-forgotten coin boxes, hoping that a rare 1947 wheat penny is hiding somewhere. The possibility alone is enough to grab anyone's attention. To understand why the 1947 penny can be so valuable, we have to look at the time it comes from. In 1947, the United States was recovering from World War II. The world was rebuilding. Millions of soldiers were returning home. People were beginning new chapters in their lives. Gas stations, grocery stores, movie theaters, and diners all used pennies every single day. Kids bought candy with them. Workers carried them in their pockets. These pennies didn't just buy things, they lived through history. Each one is a tiny piece of a story from the late 1940s. There were three main versions of the 1947 wheat penny, the one without a mint mark from Philadelphia, the 1947 D from Denver, and the 1947 S from San Francisco. All three were made in large numbers, but that doesn't mean the rare ones are easy to find. Rare coins are born not because of how many were made, but because of errors, varieties, and condition. And 1947 has some hidden surprises in all those areas. Some of the most valuable 1947 pennies are the rare error coins. These errors happened by accident at the mint, and only a tiny number exist. One of the most famous types collectors seek is the 1947 double die penny. On these coins, the letters or numbers show doubling almost like a shadow or a second image. A strong double die from 1947 can be worth serious money. In lower condition, it might be worth hundreds. But in high grade, the price can climb into the thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Another rare and extremely valuable type is a wrong planchet strike, where a 1947 penny was accidentally struck on a metal blank meant for another coin. These are incredibly rare. A weak penny struck on a foreign planchet, a dime blank, or another wrong metal can bring thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, depending on how dramatic the mistake is. These are the kinds of finds that change someone's life. They look strange, they feel different, and collectors will fight for them. Off-center strikes are another valuable error for 1947. If the design is pushed too far to one side, leaving part of the penny blank, the value increases. The more dramatic the off-center, the more money it can bring. A 50% off-center 1947 penny with a clear date and mint mark can easily bring hundreds or thousands at auction. Clipped planchet's coins missing a curved piece of copper can also be valuable, especially when combined with other errors. But the most shocking values come from high-grade 1947 wheat pennies. Most pennies from that year were used every day and became worn down. Very few survived in perfect mint condition. When one is found in bright, shiny red color with almost no marks, grading companies can give it very high mint state grades like MS 66, MS 67, or even MS 68. And that is where the value explodes. A 1947 penny in MS 67 red can sell for thousands of dollars. A perfect MS 68 red can reach tens of thousands of dollars, depending on the mint and the auction. These are the absolute best examples, coins that look like they were made yesterday, even though they're more than 75 years old. They are so rare that when they appear, collectors battle for them. The price climbs higher and higher until someone finally wins the bidding war. Now imagine combining both rarity and condition. Imagine a rare error 1947 penny in perfect mint state. That's when the value becomes almost unbelievable. A double die in MS 67 or MS 68 could easily reach the tens of thousands or more. A wrong planchet error in high grade could be worth a huge amount. These are the coins that become legendary in the collecting world. This is what makes the 1947 wheat penny so exciting. It's a simple coin anyone could have. A coin that could be hiding in an old jar, in a drawer full of old things, in a box from your grandparents, or even mixed into pocket change from years ago. You never know where one might appear. People have found incredibly valuable wheat pennies in the most unexpected places: coat pockets, attic boxes, old piggy banks, and estate sales where nobody knew what they had. Imagine the moment of discovering a rare 1947 penny. You pick it up, look closer, and realize the doubling is real. Or you weigh it and find out it's the wrong metal. Or you send it to a grading company and it comes back in near perfect condition. Your heart races, your mind spins, and suddenly you're holding a coin worth far more than anyone would guess, a coin that could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. That excitement, that possibility, is what makes the 1947 wheat penny so special. It's a coin filled with history, mystery, and huge potential value. People all over the world still search for it. And the next rare one could be found by anyone, even you. That is the magic behind rare wheat pennies, especially the mysterious and very sought-after 1953 D wheat penny. Most people don't know how valuable the rare ones can be. Most people walk right past them, never knowing that a life-changing treasure could be resting in a simple jar of old coins or lying forgotten in a drawer. But collectors know. They know that even a small mint mistake or a perfectly preserved coin from this year can explode in value. And when the rarest versions appear, those with dramatic errors or extremely high grades, prices can jump into the tens of thousands, even more depending on the condition and rarity. This is why the 1953 D wheat penny is one of the most talked about coins from the 1950s. To understand why any 1953 D penny can be so valuable, we have to go back in time. In 1953, America looked very different. Prices were low, families were growing, cars were becoming more popular, and people used cash every day. The wheat penny was everywhere. People carried them to grocery stores, to movie theaters, to gas stations, and to school lunch counters. These pennies moved through millions of hands. They heard millions of stories. They sat in pockets, purses, toolboxes, and cash registers. Each penny from that year holds a little piece of that history. The U.S. Mint in Denver made hundreds of millions of 1953 D wheat pennies, so on the surface they seem common. But rare coins do not become valuable because of how many were made. They become valuable because something unusual happened to a small group of them. And for the 1953 penny, that unusual part comes from two things: rare errors and high-grade survivors. Let's talk about the rare errors first, because these are the ones that bring unbelievable money. One of the most famous rare types is the 1953 double die penny. On these coins, the letters, numbers, or the motto appear doubled, as if the coin's design was stamped twice. A strong double die from this year can sell for thousands of dollars. In extremely clean condition, the value jumps even higher, sometimes tens of thousands, if the doubling is dramatic and the coin looks nearly perfect. Another incredibly rare type is when a 1953 penny is struck on the wrong metal blank, also known as a wrong planchet error. These are extremely rare, but they do exist for wheat pennies from different years. When a penny is struck on a foreign coin blank or a leftover piece of metal meant for another denomination, the coin becomes instantly valuable. Some wrong planchet wheat pennies have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. A 1953 wrong planchet coin in high grade could easily reach a huge price. These are the types of finds that turn a 1-cent coin into a shocking treasure. There are also off-center strikes, where the design is pushed far to one side. These can be worth hundreds or thousands depending on how dramatic the error is. A nice 50% off-center 1953 penny with full date and mint mark showing can bring serious attention at auctions. There are also clipped planchets, where part of the coin looks sliced off. These too can bring strong prices if the coin is clean and the error is obvious. But the biggest surprise for collectors comes from high-grade 1953 wheat pennies. These are the coins that look almost brand new, even after more than 70 years. Finding a 1953 penny in mint condition is extremely rare because most of them were used every day and got worn down. But in some cases, a small number were saved in rolls, forgotten in drawers, or stored in perfect conditions by collectors long ago. When these high-grade coins are sent to grading companies like PCGS or NGC, and they come back with grades like MS-66, MS-67, or even MS-68, the value skyrockets. At the top levels, these coins can sell for thousands of dollars, and when the color is bright red and fully original, the price can jump even higher. The most perfect examples can reach tens of thousands, shocking anyone who sees the auction results. Now imagine combining both rarity and condition, a dramatic error penny in perfect mint state. That's when the value becomes unbelievable. A major double die or wrong planchet 1953 penny that grades extremely high could easily reach the tens of thousands or more. These coins are the holy grail of wheat penny collecting. They are so rare that many collectors will never even see one in their lives. But they know they exist, and that is what keeps the excitement alive. This is why people love the 1953 wheat penny. It holds a mix of history and possibility. It looks simple, but its value can be extraordinary. And the best part? These pennies are still found today. People discover them in old jars, plastic tubs, coin collections they inherited, and even in pocket change. One little penny can create a moment of surprise and excitement, especially if it turns out to be one of the rare versions. Imagine the excitement of picking up a penny, looking at it closely, and realizing you are holding something worth thousands. Imagine finding a perfectly preserved one that grades high and brings in a huge payout. Imagine discovering a dramatic error that collectors have been searching for. That feeling is why people keep looking. That feeling is why the 1953 wheat penny is still talked about today.